Hi guys, this is Seb from TopGear Malaysia. Today we are at the Ferrari PJ showroom to have a look at the latest model from Ferrari, and this is it, the 296 GTB. Okay, so what is the 296 GTB and why is it so special? Well, it's because this is Ferrari's first ever production mid-engine turbocharged V6 hybrid model supercar. Now, it is actually a brand new model and it is meant to be introduced as part of the lineup that includes the 458, the 488, and of course the F8. Now, despite being a much smaller car and having a shorter wheelbase, the 296 GTB has actually all the facts and figures to back it up as a proper modern day Ferrari. Now, as you move towards the rear, you can actually see that the back end of the car flares out a bit to give a more muscular appearance, and of course to help with the overall smooth design for the 296 GTB. But it also helps with the overall aerodynamic performance of the car. You can actually see some of those aspects all over the car. Actually, on the roof, you can actually see the aero bridge. Even the front windscreen and side window designs are meant to look and feel like a helmet visor, of course to help with the aerodynamic properties as well. So now we are at the rear, you can see that it's actually much sportier than what you see up front, and you see more elements and more carbon fiber to help with the weight reduction, of course the aerodynamic properties. This is actually an active rear spoiler which pops up to help with more downforce, and this is probably my favorite part, the rear single exhaust. Now, for the traditional Ferrari models, you can actually see that the exhaust tip is actually round, but this one is more squarish and is mounted up high to make way for this carbon fiber rear diffuser, again to help with the overall aerodynamic properties. And this is actually very important because of what is inside the 296 GTB. It's very, very powerful V6 engine. Now, housed within the 296 GTB is this. Okay, first you will see this very cool looking 3D glass panel, and inside is actually a 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V6 engine with hybrid technology, of course the electric motor. Now, if you look at the engine alone, that produces 663 horsepower. Now, this is actually a new production record because if you look at it as power per liter, that is actually 221 horsepower per liter. So 663, but if you include the electric motor, the 296 GTB actually produces 830 horsepower with 740 Newton meters of torque. Now, to put things into perspective, the 296 GTB actually has 120 horsepower more compared to the F8. Now, this is actually crazy because it looks and feels like a mid-size supercar, but it actually has more power than the F8. Now, that translates to a 0 to 100 km/h in just 2.9 seconds with a top speed of 330 km/h. Good stuff. Now, the 296 GTB is actually a plug-in hybrid, which means that you can actually plug it in and charge the battery. Now, behind the seat is actually a 7.45 kWh battery, which gives an all-electric driving range up to 25 kilometers. To put things into perspective, that is actually from Subang to KL without ever using a single drop of fuel. But if you're not interested in the all-electric driving experience, then you can just switch the driving modes and then you can play around with all of its 830 horsepower. Okay, so I've briefly shown you what the Ferrari 296 GTB is all about. Now it's time for the pricing. So if you're interested to get your very own 296 GTB, it can be yours from RM 1.228 million ringgit. That is before you add in all the options, duties, taxes, and insurance. So to know more about Ferrari's first ever production V6 hybrid supercar, you know where to go, www.topgear.com.my. And I'll see you again in the next video. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our social media pages and share this with your friends and family. So before I leave, enjoy the Ferrari 296 GTB.